Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. So as you can probably tell, we are in Myshuno today. We're doing a little apartment build and we are renovating this particular apartment unit, which is 18 Culpepper House if I'm remembering correctly. We're turning this apartment into a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment for a young couple who have just welcomed their new baby, and we are also, because it's the festive / Christmas season, we are also of course turning this into a bit of a winter wonderland apartment. So I really hope you enjoy this. Something else to note as well is that we are using some custom content today, which is something that I don't usually do on the channel, but I've just been wanting to delve into using some custom content every now and again. It might be a once a month thing, it might be a once every few months thing. It's just as and when I feel inspired to use it, and I did find quite a few festive pieces on my search for some custom content for The Sims 4. So I was like, okay, let's just do a little Christmas apartment. So I really hope you enjoy all this. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be uploading this apartment. I'm not sure if I'm going to be uploading it to the gallery. I'll definitely be uploading the tray files for sure. But then I need to figure out how to get the CC list together along with links. So I'm going to have to figure that out after I've finished this voiceover. But just know that if you are seeing this, then that means that I have figured it out. So instructions will be in the description box just down below. So we do start working on the living room here. I do use a fair bit of custom content just as a bit of a warning to any of you who don't like using custom content or can't use custom content. So, but like this is only my second CC build on the channel like in ever. So I was just like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to have a little bit of fun with this. And I'm really pleased on how it turned out. I used custom content from a wide variety of creators. I went over onto Tumblr and found a bunch of links and a bunch of posts. I did reblog some of them under my RachelPedd CC finds if you are curious about seeing perhaps some of the things that I found. So, but overall, I'm really pleased with how the apartment looks. I was taking the screenshots just before I started this voiceover, and I was like, oh, this actually turned out really nicely. I am pleased with it. It actually took me two settings to actually finish this. So, which is quite unusual. Typically, I would probably spend like a couple of hours maybe on something like this, and I could just do it in one session. But this time, I think because I was using custom content and I was feeling probably like a little bit overwhelmed, but in a good way. That's maybe why it took me as long as it did. But the end result was definitely worth it. I did tweak some bits, off camera, such as like the sizes of things and then adding items for the infant, because up until, well, I'll let you know when I decided that I was going to introduce like this particular family dynamic, because up until this point I think I was kind of thinking that this couple just lived by themselves, but then I was like, I love the idea of just creating an apartment or a house for a couple who have just welcomed a new baby. I don't know what it is about it, I just think it's a really sweet idea, and I was like, oh, I need to do this with this apartment, because I also downloaded some nursery custom content, which I believe is by SixumCC. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And I think that was another thing that sort of pushed me into that direction as well, because I just wanted to use some of those nursery items. I cannot wait to show you how the nursery turned out. But we do spend quite a bit of time on the living room. As I was saying, I think I was being quite picky about things. I was being quite finicky with things. I felt like things were, I don't know, like I was using different sets and trying to work them together and seeing how I could like intertwine not only CC but obviously items that we've just got in the game as well. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but I did have overall a good time. But I did speak about this. I mean, when did I last do my last custom content build? I built like a 90s nostalgia house with the nostalgia pack from Charlie Pancakes, and I believe I said a very similar thing during that voiceover as well, was that I found it took me a little bit longer because obviously, number one, when you install custom content into your game, the catalogue, obviously everything that I'm used to seeing and knowing where it is, it gets a little bit like higgledy-piggledy because obviously the introduction of the CC places items where I'm not used to seeing them, so that's probably a number one. And then number two, I was also thinking, I'm not sure if it's just my game or like my filter system that's not working quite correctly, but I thought when you used to click filter by custom content, it would only bring up custom content items. Has something changed, or perhaps it's something to do with my game? I'm not entirely sure. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below if you also have this problem. It's probably just a me problem and it's probably user error more than anything else, but I was like, I was finding that a bit strange too, because I was like, well, I'm trying to filter by custom content and it's including custom content, but the custom content isn't just by itself, it's intertwined with other items from other packs that aren't custom content. So I was a little bit confused about that, but like I said, it's probably likely user error as opposed to my game or anything being broken. But the living room, yeah, it took me quite a long time. I did download some fireplace custom content, but for some reason I just didn't really like how any of them looked when I popped on in game before I started this, just so that I could sort of see the items and I wasn't as overwhelmed as I would have been if it had been me seeing them for the first time. So that was definitely a good idea, because if I had not have done that, then this video would likely be twice as long as it already is. And to be honest, for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, I think 20 plus minutes is actually pretty long. So it just goes to show how much time this actually took me. But I love these throw pillows. I'm not entirely sure. So like when I'm referring to certain items in the game, I'm not really sure which creator created which items. That's very ignorant of me. But like I said, if you are seeing this, then I will have already posted the link, or like the custom content list with the custom content links. I'm pretty sure I did it for the 90s nostalgia house that I did, so I just need to sort of figure out how to do that. I'm sure I've got a program that does it for me essentially. So anyway, so if you are curious, then they will be listed down below. But like, if not like most of, if not all of this CC, I was so blown away with. I was so impressed by it, and it really made me start thinking about, okay, I think I want to start using it a little bit more on the channel. Like I said, it's not going to be for every build, it really isn't, but maybe like a once a month thing. We could maybe vote on our post tab and we sort of say, what should we build with custom content this particular day? Are there any creators that you'd like me to check out? Is there any sort of style of house or apartment that you want me to try and create with the custom content? So maybe we'll turn it into more of like a community thing where you all perhaps vote for which custom content we should look at next. Or do I just kind of put the my CC folder back in my game, and then we just kind of build whatever we like, if that makes sense. But yes, just looking back on the footage here, I do think the living room is very nearly done, I think. And then we move on to the kitchen. Now the kitchen surprised me quite a bit, because it ended up being quite a bit darker than I had probably originally planned. When I thought about this particular apartment in my head, when I was like, okay, I want to play around with some custom content and I want to make it festive and this, that and the other, and perhaps, yeah, it turned out just a little bit darker. But before we move on to the kitchen, this is when I had decided, right, I am going to throw in the idea that this couple have just welcomed a new baby to their apartment. I think this couple, they're probably slightly on the younger side, so you can decide what age you think that is. But they're not super young and they're not like really old either. But I think the apartment has quite a youthful sort of stylist. What am I talking about? Stylish. Why did that word just escape me for a second? Like stylish look. So yeah, I think that's another reason that perhaps I did end up going for this particular countertop, which again, I just didn't think I was going to go this dark with it, but I was kind of as well loosely inspired by my kitchen in real life. My kitchen in real life, it's not quite this dark. Our kitchen has very similar wooden countertops, but the colour of them is actually like a really dark navy/royal blue. And I think I was feeling a little bit inspired by that when I was actually creating this. And then also with the main bedroom and the bathroom as well, that has quite a lot of like dark royal blues in it, and I was definitely inspired by my own house with them too. But yeah, the kitchen is pretty simple, to be honest. I did have quite a quite a bit, of counter space that I was a little bit panicked about trying to clutter, because if anyone knows me and knows me well, they know that like sometimes I feel a little bit overwhelmed with spaces, and I feel the need to clutter up every single like nook and cranny. If I had to try and do like a minimalist build, I would struggle so bad, because there's something in me that's like, oh my god, look, like there's a spare bit of wall, or like there's a bit of floor that doesn't have a rug on it, there's a corner that doesn't have a plant in it. Like I would struggle really badly. But with this kitchen, again, I just wanted to try and keep that more stylish sort of element to it. So, and then obviously I did introduce the high chair as well, because I just wanted to sort of get across the fact that this couple, like before they had a baby, they probably hadn't considered that they were going to have a baby in this apartment. Obviously, it's a 2-bedroom unit. I'm not entirely sure what the now nursery would have been prior to that. Perhaps an office, or maybe it was just like a blank room. Maybe they didn't really use it at all, or maybe it was a guest bedroom for when their friends or parents came to stay over, or other family members or whatever. But yeah, I didn't really give it too much thought. It's just that it's really fun when you're building something for a particular family dynamic in The Sims. You start thinking, probably without realizing, what these Sims might look like, what their hobbies may be, what jobs they're into. But with this, I don't think I really thought about it that much as such. I didn't really think about what these two particular Sims do for a living. I think either way, they both get paid quite well, because it's a nice apartment that they live in, so I was considering that. Now, one thing I'm going to say here is these tiles, I know these were made by Simlacy, because I downloaded these. I found them actually on her Tumblr page, and I was like, oh, these are beautiful. So these are definitely by Simlacy. The Christmas tree is by Hey Harry, I believe. And then, is this kitchen set by Hey Harry, or is this by somebody else? I'm not entirely sure. I did download a couple of different kitchen sets, as well as like a couple of different beds and wardrobes and chest of drawers and sofas and like other festive decorations. So like these creators are just, I would love to learn how to create custom content. I've been considering learning how to do it for a really long time, but I wouldn't really know where to begin. So if anyone's watching this and they've got any tips or tricks, then please do let me know, because it's been something that I've been considering for a while, and the way that I'm feeling at the moment, I just feel like my brain needs to be kept as busy as possible for as long as possible so that I'm not in my own thoughts and stuff like that. But yeah, so if you've got any tips and tricks, then please let me know. But the next room that we work on is the bedroom. So the living room's done, the kitchen's done, and we start working on the main bedroom here. So this is what I was talking about with the touches of the blue. Definitely reminded me of my own house in real life. My own house in real life doesn't look anything like this, but I was definitely inspired by just the colour schemes. Because I don't think, I'm going to say something here that's quite bold, but I'm sure there's someone that'll tell me if I'm wrong. I don't feel like I use blue an awful lot in any of my builds just in general. So when I do use it, I do feel like, oh, well, maybe I was inspired by my own house in real life, because we have a lot of blue going on in our house in real life. There's definitely a theme. Like if you were to walk around my house, you'd be like, oh, you like blue. Okay. And we do. My husband and I do enjoy the colour blue. But anyway, yeah, so I also found, now I'm going to say something quite bold here. Usually main bedrooms, I don't particularly enjoy decorating them, but because I was playing around with some custom content, I found the experience a little bit more enjoyable. And I also found that I was able to fill up the space probably a little bit better than I would have done if I didn't have the custom content installed. So that was kind of nice. It's a nice change of pace for me to actually sit here and say, I really enjoyed decorating this main bedroom, because usually that is not the case. That is not the case at all, which I find quite funny. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable experience. And something else I need to talk about here. If CC creators can make mirrors that can clip onto any portion of the wall, just like a painting or a clock, then why can't EA do that? Like that's always been a question that I've wanted to just pop out there. Why can custom content creators do it, but not EA or the Sims team? It's just always confused me so much. Like that mirror that's on the wall there, that can clip onto any area of a wall. Like, hi, why are we not doing that? I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. But I also considered like this little, it's kind of like a frame on the wall with a bunch of swatches on it and some sketches and drawings. I thought perhaps this couple, I'm not entirely sure, I don't think either one of them's an interior designer per se. I think maybe they enjoy interior design as a couple together, so maybe they use that board as like a bit of a mood board inspiration for the decorations. I just thought that was a really nice idea. And then we move on to the nursery. So this primarily features custom content, as I was saying just a few moments ago, by 6MCC. I can't remember the name of the custom content set, I do apologise, but it is so cute. And it's very woodland themed, so I didn't really steer it for a particular gender of baby. I was leaning more towards a baby girl, but it could definitely be a boy as well, you know, just depending on how you would like to play it and what the family dynamic is that you are wanting to play with. But yeah, it's all so sweet. And I did like the fact that each of the items sort of seamlessly integrated with items that we've already got in the game, you know, such as items from Growing Together, for example, and base game too. But there's a lot of clutter within this pack as well. There's like a nappy bag, which I thought was really cute. There's some baby powders and stuff like that. I was like, I didn't use every single item from the pack because I did struggle, as I was saying just a few moments ago. Like, for some reason my game is not filtering by just custom content, which I think is, I don't know whether I need to reinstall Better Build Buy or something like that. Look, I don't know, but I found it a little bit difficult to find them within the catalogue. But yeah, we've got some like little fairy lights on the window as well. We've got a bunch of toys around here, and I did like the fact that this room was actually quite a bit bigger than some of the nurseries that I have built or decorated in the past. I think with nurseries usually, I believe in my previous build, which I released just a few days ago, I did like a big Christmas family home, and I built a nursery in there too, but the nursery was so tiny. Like, I went into the game to take the screenshots for the end of the video, and I was like, oh, this is tiny. How did I even fit everything I need to in here? Like, oh, that was actually quite a challenge. But yeah, it was just nice to have a little bit more space to play with. So like, look at this little bag of nappies, like, please. And then this little play mat too, and like, oh, it's all so cute, and the building blocks as well, and just, oh, this room is so cute. I was taking the screenshots, like I said, just about maybe an hour ago at this point, and I was like, oh, this room turned out so nicely. I love how warm and colourful it feels. I love the fact that the room has its own colour scheme and its own theme as well. I just think these two Sims are so excited to be parents, and like, they had the best time decorating this nursery, well, you know, in preparation for the new arrival. I just thought, oh, it's so cute. But yes, we've just got a few more like art pieces going on the wall here, and then I do add, I believe, a bookcase on this wall, because again, I was just like, oh, there's a big blank space of wall and it's really annoying, so I end up putting this here just to try and divide the space up a little bit. And also, this is not, I don't think this is a short wall height, is it? Is this a medium wall height? Which, like, if I'm doing that of my own accord, then fine. You know, I've done that to myself. But I think this apartment unit, well, it definitely comes with by default. I'm pretty sure it's the medium wall height. Like, that doesn't look like a short wall height to me. So I stress myself out sometimes just a little bit, like, trying to, again, fill up the spaces here. Like, it's too much hard work. So that's most of the apartment done, and we then move on to the family bathrooms. This is just a 1-bathroom unit, but this bathroom turned out so nicely, again, because of the custom content that I was using. So there's a hairdryer that goes on the wall, there's a makeup bag, there's like a little pot of brushes, and we've got like this little, what do you call that you put the laundry basket, but it's a plastic one. So we've actually got one similar in real life, so that was just a nice touch as well. I love the towel on the wall too, because it doesn't look like it's sat super perfect. It's kind of like just hanging there, so I thought that was really nice as well. We've got the shower bath combination as well, so I thought that was a nice touch, and it just means that the Sims are actually able to bathe their new baby as well. We've got like obviously the dressing gown going on here too, because I always for some reason hook it over like the edge of the door as well. I'm not entirely sure why I do that. I do it an awful lot though. Like in pretty much every single one of my builds I do that. I just find it really funny. And then I just try and find some more clutter to put up on this sink here, because I realized just how wide this sink was. And something else that I was noticing with the custom content in particular is that I was noticing with like surfaces, there were so many more slots on the surface to put stuff on compared to the majority of EA's surfaces, which I thought was kind of interesting. And then the last room, if you want to call it a room, which I suppose you can if you want to, it's just the entryway here. There's not too much going on because I didn't want it to feel super overwhelming as you walked into the apartment, but that is pretty much it for this video. That seemed to sneak up on me. But anyway, yes, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be uploading this to the gallery, but worst case scenario, the tray files are absolutely going to be listed down below, along with the custom content list and hopefully the links as well. So I really hope you enjoy this if you do decide to download it for yourselves. And if you've got any build ideas for the festive season, then please drop me some comments down below. But thank you again, as always, for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye.